the point that I think Supervisor Antonovich just made. If there's an issue and there's a problem, people are going to look to her to make sure she solves that problem. That management is absolutely critical to the successful reform of jail operations. So I agree with you 100%, Supervisor.
Well, then I will read this letter, okay? And I'm only read portions of it. It says, I'm writing this letter because of the recent news about bad management problems with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I'm employed as a detective from another law enforcement agency. I've been assigned to a task force for regional auto theft prevention for around 7 years. During this time, I have witnessed this mismanagement myself. During the last year, we've had 4 sheriff's captains. Earlier this year, Captain Blank retired a day before he was named part of a sex scandal in the LA Times regarding female deputy. Then Captain Blank was assigned as the captain of TRAP. After 3 months, he was promoted to commander. I guess Sheriff Baca didn't know he was going to promote him. So again, we were without a captain. Then Captain Blank was assigned to captain of TRAP after being kicked out of another bureau for being a Paul Tanaka supporter. He showed up for about 3 weeks and he disappeared. We later learned the bad news, he was suing the sheriff department. So once again, we were without a captain. This is an example of mismanagement does not look good for us in another agency. It is like the sheriff's department does not think much of this unit, or they don't care about the quality of the captains that they assign to TRAP. It goes on to say that TRAP is a state-funded task force that's headed up by the sheriff's department, and it doesn't have any funding. And then it goes on to say that TRAP went to the state legislature to get more money out of every vehicle that's registered in LA County. After the bill was assigned by the governor, it was presented to the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors. At this time, there's been no decision by the supervisors regarding this bill. I don't know anything about it. The last 4 captains come to the same conclusion. So there are no funds. They've now assigned a new captain, and he seems to be spending money in everything they don't want. And I don't know what to do about this kind of mismanagement. But it does concern me, and of course it's an anonymous letter, but I'm sure that at the end of the day, I don't know how to bring accountability to this. And if we have people who are assigned and spending money inappropriately so, I think it deals with the mismanagement issue that we see. So I know that you're dealing with the mismanagement of the jails, but I'm concerned about some of this mismanagement issues and how we're going to get to the attention, particularly when we as supervisors are supporting legislation to get more money into a particular department that isn't landing there. Instead, it's going into special things that some of these people want, like putting red lights on detective cars so they can get through red lights. I'm sure detectives must love that.
Yeah, but an anonymous letter, though. I mean, how do we know it's true?
We don't know it's true.
Well,
that's so true.
We need to check it out.
We don't know it's true, and that's the biggest issue, is that many times when we've been receiving these kinds of things, you know, we send it through the process to hopefully get some kind of a response, and I don't know, but I am concerned that as we were getting so much of the letters at that time, we were getting them from felons, saying, you know, they beat me up, they did this, you know, and we take it with a grain of salt, we send it through the process to be reviewed. This is a detective. And it is anonymous, and I can tell why. I just think that it really requires us. It is an article we'll be reading in the LA Times, as the LA Times also got it at the same time we did. And so the issue is that I don't think that the sheriff needs any more mismanagement issues, but that whole issue about that you dressed with management is of concern to me, And I don't know how. I mean, we can send this through the process, which I'm told sure it won't be. I don't know when I'll ever get a response. Usually when I ask, it usually takes anywhere from 60 to 90 days to get a response. So, but, you know, Mr. Chairman, you're welcome to, I don't know if you received this letter, but I know as I read my mail.
I didn't receive the letter, so.
Well, let me answer your question in part by